My friends always told me like I have a very unique life, but I don't think that's true because I'm very closeted. I don't travel around. I don't have any money to like travel around the world. My family never had enough money. I just basically stay in my room all day, every day. So, but when they say like I have a very unique life, they're talking about like my journey from a high school graduate to a working adult, because everybody just does the same thing. They graduate from high school, they go to college or uni or whatever, then they graduate, they get a job. And all my friends are having a job right now. I have one friend who's a doctor, one friend who's a cybersecurity engineer, and I have a lot of friends who like do like the normal path. And they see me do this unique path, this very dangerous path. They see like, wow, your life looks very exciting, very unique. I just want like to like tell you guys about like a snippet of my life, because my life is not complete yet. I'm not successful or anything yet. I just like to like share my journey with you and just like take you along like what I've been through, just a snippet of it, and hopefully like get to know each other, because like I'm going to be documenting my journey, and this is basically the start of my journey. I just want to have you along as possible. So I just made this video just telling you guys a snippet of my life. The reason why my friends think my life is very unique because I've dropped out of 5 universities. It's a very long story, but basically Asian parents, I'm the oldest kid in the household, so my parents expect so much from me. Like just basically we are not rich. I remember this one time for 95% of my life I live in like this like run down like shop block where there's like two mechanic shop like downstairs with one tiny shop and one restaurant. So basically it's the ground floor and I live the top floor. So I remember in high school my friend came to my house. Mechanic shop, they have this like sound when we do the drilling and there's like sparks flying everywhere. So I have to experience that from like 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. for 6 days a week. And my friend came to my house and they were like whirling sounds everywhere, and they're like, dude, how the hell do you live? Because they were like going crazy, just like for hours and hours. But for me, I was used to it for so many years, so I couldn't even hear the sound because I was so used to it. It was invisible to my ears. And so my parents like really put a lot of pressure on me just to get us out of this financial hole, especially since I'm the elder son, Chinese family, Asian family, you know the deal. So for the first 4 universities, I knew I didn't want to go to university. I fucking hated sitting down in the classroom at lecture hall and just like forcing myself to like learn this like useless shit. For the first 4 universities, I dropped out. My parents keep forcing me back in until like after the 4th time, they literally told me like, we ran out of money. We can't like make you go to university anymore. We actually have no money. We only have this amount of money we set aside for your brother to go to university. That's it. We don't have anything extra. So after the 4th university, they ran out of money, and I think I was like in my early 20s back then. Yeah, I was like basically speed running universities year after year after year until my 4th uni. Then they ran out of money. So during that time, early 20s, I'm like 28 now. I just hit 28 like a few weeks ago. I know I don't look 28, but Asian genes. During my early 20s, I was like jumping around from job to job to job, and it was hard because like my CV, I couldn't put the universities that I dropped out. So basically I only have a high school diploma, all levels we call it. I only could get like serving jobs basically. So I jumped around from restaurant to restaurant. Then eventually I got enough experience to go to corporate and really fucking hate it. I've never like stayed at a job for more than a year. It's usually just like 3 months. I know it's like so bad. And I remember when I was in a corporate job, I wanted to leave after 6 months. They were like, dude, you have jumped around from job to job so many times. Stay this time. But I didn't stay. My last job I had was a corporate job. And it was the best job I had. The best job, because it was a corporate, it was like secure. I only stayed there for like around like half a year, and after I quit that job, I didn't want to work with anyone. I fucking hated, I don't know why, I just hated everything. I hated like going to school, I hated working. I continued playing video games for years and years until I went down to my last $700. And mind you, none of my family members are earning any money for years. My mom unfortunately passed away, and because of that, my dad grieved really hard, so he had some health issues, and so he couldn't work. It put him out of commission. Then my brother just graduated university that time. All the money that my parents like saved out aside, he graduated from university. Then my brother didn't want to work too, so he was unemployed for like a couple of years. So none of my friends were working, and my bank account, I still remember, was down to the last $700. And I knew I need to do something. My favorite class in high school, I fucking hate high school. I hate all school, but I still remember there was one class I liked, and it was the comprehension class, the writing class. I love writing stories. I love like crafting stories. And when I was a kid, now I'm not doing it. I don't know why I can't do it now. But once a kid, I used to read all these books like Mr. Mystery, Mr. Midnight, Goosebumps. and Darren Chan. I still have the books over there, so I'm looking to Artemis Fowl. So I decided to maybe just write my own stories. I was desperate. I didn't know what to do. I decided like to sell to sell books on Amazon, just to write like fiction books and stuff like that. For the first time in my life, something succeed. But eventually, again, I started hating it because like imagine you write every day. I was working so fucking hard. I was working 7 days a week, writing 8 hours a day for a year straight with no vacation. Just imagine that. I had to like come up with like characters and like storyline, plot line constantly for a year straight. I published so many books. That was like one of my first tastes of being an entrepreneur. Like before then, I'm like skipping like stories and stuff like that, but I have a couple of businesses. I used to sell like this jewelry business, but it failed. But this thing was like my first successful like entrepreneur like thing where I could like stay at home and just like work. It was fun for a while, but after like 6-7 months of like constantly writing stories every single day, I got really tired of it. But I knew I had to stick, so I stick with it for a year straight. For that year, I eventually like gathered enough money, basically a large sum of money. I was like, what do I do with this money? I did not know what to do, and this was last year. So at the mid of last year, I had this huge sum of money. I did not know what to do with it. This was like the most amount of money I've ever seen in my bank account my entire life. I didn't know what to do with it. And what did I do? I went back to school. And this time I paid for my own education. I paid for all the tuition fees. I told my dad, yo dad, I'm going to put myself through school one last time because I want to do something in my life. Like I want to make something useful in my life. I went to my local private uni. I thought I was making the right decision. I was actually studying for cybersecurity because I did a lot of research. Cybersecurity was one of the most booming industry, especially last year, like early last year. And so I tried to go for it, but it was so hard. Like I don't know why. I know I was so bad at anything science related or maths related. I can't do any equation or some shit. I was so bad at it, so I couldn't do it. A couple of months in, I decided to like pursue for HSE degree, Health, Safety, Environment degree, which is more like less logical and like all this maths equation and more like on your hands and like basically health, safety, like procedures. So I was like pursuing that. But even when I pursued that, I had to study like maths and shit. And I was doing fine. Like I was like not the top of my class, but I was at the top 15, I guess. And I was doing good. Eventually, I remember like I sat in the lecture hall. I was like, yo Ben, what the hell are you doing? You're studying this like maths equation. You're studying this like physics and like fucking chemistry. What am I doing in my life? And again, I decided to ask around. I decided to ask all my friends, ask all the lecturers in school, like, I'm lost, what should I do? I already dropped out of 4 universities. Like, this is my last chance I will ever get. I worked so hard for this money to put myself through school again. I worked a year straight without any vacations. I was going insane. And eventually I decided to leave school, and that was this February. I left school for the 5th time, and when I left school, that time I quit writing, because schoolwork was too busy. I had a big social life where I was like going out every day with my friends, so I didn't have any time for writing. So I left school with 0 income streams, nothing. And it was such a crazy decision. Some of my friends like, yo, you're making a really bad decision here. Like, you're leaving school for the 5th time without any income stream, and your family is poor as fuck. What are you doing? But I did that in February. I left school and I didn't know what to do again. I was like, should I go back to writing? Should I go back to all this thing? I googled like other high income skills, and eventually I saw this like video editing thing. So straight after leaving school, I watched a Premiere Pro tutorial. I bought Premiere Pro. I didn't have much money back then, especially because like I had to pay the school fees. I went through 2 semester worth of like tuition fees, so it was a large shit to my bank account. But I still had like some money left, from the writing gig I had. And yeah, so I learned video editing, and I was working so hard again. Like I even document my journey. If you go back to my older videos, you can literally see like day 1, day 2, day 3, and eventually I got my first $1,000. I was working, guys, I had like 6 clients at the same time at one point, and these were like very small tier clients, so they only paid me like so little money. I started off with $15 a video, $20 a video, $30 a video. I had 6 clients, and I was charging like $30 $50 per video, and I was editing videos every single day. So I didn't really mind the money I was getting, because I knew that the experience of working with these clients were more valuable than the money they paid me. This time I just like, fuck it, suck it up, and just I gathered the experience. After like a month plus of like working so hard, editing a lot of videos, I eventually hit my first $1,000 a month. And the results were insane because like people on Twitter were telling me like, yo, I've been editing so long and I never reached $1,000. It hit $1,000 in just a month plus. Like there's like crazy results, and they're telling me like, how do I do it? And I can't answer that question because all I did is dedicate myself to the craft. But yeah, I did it. I reached my first $1,000 a month. But by the time I start feeling like really burnt out. Also, I was getting a lot of like clients. I was getting like inbound clients almost every single day. But these weren't the most highest quality clients. They were like very low paying clients. And so I had so much work. So I decided to start offloading my work to other editors. And that was like a very bad decision. The editors weren't as good as me. Like I was paying them like 90% of the profits because I just wanted to offload work. I just want to help the people around me. So I decided to just offload the work to everybody like who asked basically. And then they edited the video not that great. So like my clients were mad and I lost a few clients because of that. Then I thought like, yo, like if I could find good editors to do that, I could like run a business through this. So I bought coaching. I eventually like decided to run a video agency, and it was such a bad decision because I bought coaching. I spent like, I think it was like $4,000. It was basically all my money, and I spent $4,000 on like coaching on how to make a video business agency. And it's not only the coaching cost, it's like getting a VSL, like cold emailing people and buying the software and getting leads, buying email addresses, and that cost me so much money. So in all I lost like $6,000 or $7,000 USD. It's basically all my money I had saved up. I decided to take a risk, try and make a video agency, and after like 2 months in, I realized it isn't going to work out. And so I left, I quit. And this was like 2 months ago. And by then, all the energy that's inside me, all the motivation I had when I first started, just like completely disappeared, like evaporated. I worked so hard until I burnt out. Then I decided to make a video agency. It didn't work. Everybody saw that I was like, getting success. Suddenly like you just flunked down. And that, obviously it feels really good when you're like rising, but when you start like going down, it feels like the worst feeling in the world. Like everything's falling apart, all the money is disappearing, everything. So I decided just to like leave editing altogether. So because of me making a video agency and just basically offloading all the work to the editors, I don't know, like I couldn't find an editor that had the same amount of passion I had for video editing, and my clients noticed it. They were like, yo, when you edit my videos, like you really see the micro details, even like the details that didn't matter. I could tell like you care. And my editors, I couldn't find an editor that really cared as much as I did. So my clients started dropping. They're like, yo, the videos quality are all going down, until I had literally like no clients left. So I decided by then, I was like, okay, I give up. I took too many L's in such a short period of time. Like my bank account is like almost empty. I know I'm narrating basically my year of 2024 to you guys, and it had a lot of up and downs, guys. Like it has so many up and downs. Yeah, I decided I quit. Then I went on a gaming spree. I re-downloaded Dota 2 and I played every single day for like 8 hours a day, and I did it for a month and a half. But I knew in the back of my mind, I need to stop because I'm like 20. At that time I was 27 before my birthday, and I was like, dude, I'm 27. I have no income stream. I dropped out of school 5 times. I need to do something. Like I have to do something again. So very recently, like just a month ago, like I decided to like open up my editing software again and just start editing again. Like the way I got my first client again, basically called up my old client that I had the most closest relationship to, and the client who paid me the best. I called him up, not called him, I just like texted him up and like, yo, I start editing again. Do you have a project? And he was really happy to take me back. And then, yeah, that's how I got started again. And right now I'm in the point where like I'm starting to build back up. Things are starting to pick up again. Like this month I already hit 1K a month from like 0, and already at 1K a month in just coming back, and I'm hoping to hit 2K a month really soon. But yeah, I'm not going to like lie to you and say like things are good, things are nice. I'm very confident like if I stick by this, I work as hard as I did back then, but do this like in a very healthy way and not like edit through the night and stuff like that. Because all in all, I'm still like a novice in video editing. Like someone told me like, yo, you only been video editing since like February, like late February. All things considered, you're very novice. If you stick by this for like a year, 2 years, you'll see so much. You could be very big, so I'm going to stick by this video editing thing. It might not work out, it might, but I'm very confident that it will if I put the work in, if I'm being consistent. And again, if I don't quit. If you're watching this, you're probably like new to the channel, you just probably like pop out in your home feed. Thanks a lot for watching. I have some editing work to do actually, so I may just go back to it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you very soon.